till to date. So there could be individual betrayals in the revolution. I mean, what is even worse, Floyd says our relationship is not that of brotherhood, because the way we're describing it as like a gangsterism. So he calls me a gangster. And why would you call me a gangster? Because I've never engaged in anything that suggests criminality or gangsterism or anything of that sort. And when I get called a gangster, I'm not the one who initiate that. They leave, they do what they do, I don't say anything, and then they go on podcasts to insult me, and they expect me to keep quiet. I will not keep quiet, because I always tell whoever cares to listen that I'm not a pushover. I will never allow that.
But how do you keep the relationship of the Progressive Caucus when you've recently just named MK enemy number one of the EFF, and being somebody who's known globally all over the world as a Pan-Africanist, or somebody who's got so much love for black people? Why would you see them as an enemy when they are a black party?
A black party that wants to kill the EFF is an enemy. Anyone who wants to kill you, in their attempt to kill you, you can't give them roses. I'm not going to be asked to give them in exchange roses. There's no political party in South Africa that wakes up every morning with an agenda of how do we kill the EFF, except the MK. We are in parliament together. We have adopted a progressive charter in parliament. A progressive charter means the minimum program of action, things that we agree upon now. And when you look at the clauses of the progressive charter, are actually the 7 non-negotiable cardinal pillars of the EFF. We just took them into the progressive charter and they adopted them the way they are. So I cannot say, because this paper is now presented by a different person in parliament, even if it means what I stand for, then I must oppose it. We're elected to work together in parliament with everyone, but we don't have to agree. So with MK, there are certain things in parliament that we agreed on. And till to date, even when we have declared them an enemy, we're still working together on any matter that we agree on. We've never declared MK a strategic enemy. It's an enemy as in our quest to defeat white monopoly capital, there will be black Bantu stands that stand in between us and the apartheid white supremacist government. Does it mean we must not fight these Bantu stands? A Lobua Bantu stand, a Natal Bantu stand, a Venda Bantu stand, even if they are led by black people, we're going to have to fight against them. We had songs against Ramudik. We had songs against all the Bantustan leaders, against them, because they were an immediate threat to what could usher in a possible democratic dispensation. And that's what the MK has become, an equivalent of a Bantustan that stands in between the EFF and what could be a possible economic freedom in our lifetime. So it can't be, Sbu, that because a gun is pointed at me by a black person, by being a Pan-Africanist, I must accept the criminality of this black person. I will respond fire with fire. Doesn't matter from which black person it comes from. So I gave example. They say, yeah, you say we must support Chidima, but at the same time you say you don't want Zuma. I said, Chidima never said the EFF must die. So Zuma said the EFF must die. MK said the EFF must die. And I'm expected to fold hands because of my Pan-Africanism. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to fight back. They are our enemy insofar as we are concerned about the livelihood and the life of the EFF. And once that hustle is done, we now concentrate without any irritation directly to white monopoly capital.
Some of those members that you were anticipating to bleed to the MK from the EFF, as you did mention that some will leave the EFF. Do you think that number is now done, or are you still expecting some more members to join the MK from the EFF?
No, the ones that I've expected to leave, they're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can't say there won't be a person from EFF who will join MK. But Bua must explain one thing. That's what makes me sleep at night. There's no single person in the 11 years of the EFF. There's no single person who has ever left the EFF and succeeded politically. Not one. You can name all of them. They not a single, even the ones you are talking about now. Me and you will come back to this podcast and you'll be asking me, are you not feeling sorry for them? There's a guy who left the EFF and then complained about VBS, and then he became a hero of everyone. Why am I forgetting his name now? And then he left, and eventually he joined Action SA in PE. I just received a long letter from him now, begging to come back into the EFF. But in the EFF, there is a clause in the constitution that says if you leave and join or wear colors of another political party, you will not be welcome back. Because EFF is not whole day in. Check in, check out. No, you check out is Chaile. That's it. So you check in, you stay in. So I worry not, because these policies that the EFF has, we crafted them together with these people. And none of the MK policies are anywhere close to the EFF policies. What is Pan-Africanism about MK and about Zuma? Zuma had all the time to unite black people. Why isn't Zuma united black people? And then all of a sudden he wakes up at 82 years and then he thinks he can unite black people. Zuma was in exile, was in the ANC, Natal, national president, deputy president, all of that. He has never said black people must come together. Since when is Zuma wanting to give us a land? Because we said to Zuma when he was a president, here are the numbers of the votes of the EFF in parliament, which gives the ANC 2/3 majority. Let's expropriate land without compensation. Zuma refused, rejected the offer of the EFF to expropriate land without compensation. Why would he come now and say, I want to expropriate land? When did he realize that land can be expropriated? We were beaten up, not only in parliament, in the fees must fall. Kids were arrested, into jail. Some of them, their careers were destroyed. Zuma was the president. The ANC Youth League was killed and destroyed under Jacob Zuma. Which unity are they talking about? Jacob Zuma now says, let's collapse the EFF under me and let's form organization of black people, and all of a sudden we want to fall into that temptation. When Zuma has got no such track record, but the EFF has got that track record of uniting black people, of uniting Africans, of fighting for Africans. It's the EFF that brought Africans under one roof, more than 120,000 of them in FNB Stadium. It is the EFF that has gone beyond the borders of South Africa and has got EFF Namibia, EFF Zimbabwe, Nigeria, EFF this EFF has practically demonstrated that it has got the capacity to unite black people. It is the EFF that went to close cliques when the hair of black Africans was ridiculed as not being a quality hair. We went to close cliques. Cliques went to apologize and had to go and give poor communities sanitary towels and so on and so forth. This EFF. It is the EFF that confronted white racism everywhere and protected black people to an extent that even black people who are not members of the EFF, who don't vote for it, use it at their workplaces and in any other place where they are threatened for their own protection. Because we've given black people a solid weapon that they can use to advance the struggle of blackness and Pan-Africanism. Where did Zuma do that? Which farm was ever closed by Zuma's protest? Which white capitalist was ever confronted by Zuma? And today he says to us he can defend us. Where's Zuma when it comes to Palestinian question? Where does Zuma stand about us owning our own banks and mines from white capital? Why are we not being told of the white capital that is behind the formation of Mkhonto Wesizwe? And then it's all pretentious. I mean, that racist boy you used to work with, Gareth Cliff, says everyone here agrees that Zuma was the best president compared to Ramaphosa. All white people that I've interacted with, including the most strategic whites. Why would whites think like that about Zuma compared to Cyril that we all know? This is the puppet of white capital. The white capital says Zuma is even better than our puppet. Why? Because Zuma has never been a threat to the establishment. He has never been a threat to the status quo. He has never been a threat to white monopoly capital. So they're like, he needs to come back because under him we're doing well and there's nothing of us that got to be tampered with. Even when Ramaphosa has given them government and said, this is a government of national unity, come white people, let's govern together. They still say, no, Zuma is a proper person. Why? Why would the people, our own oppressors, have so much praise for Zuma if Zuma has got such progressive policies? In the policies of MK, tell me of a single policy that suggests they are left. There's nothing left about them. There's nothing progressive about them. Pregnant women are going to be, pregnant girls are going to be taken to Robben Island. What is progressive about that? Pregnant girls, teenage pregnancy. Most of the teenage pregnancy happens as a result of rape and is done by their uncles, is done by their neighbor, is done by their teachers and so on and so forth. And then a meeting is held in the family that this becomes a family secret. No one must speak about it. So when you say, I'm taking the girls who are pregnant to Robben Island, what about the boys? And how are you going to know the boys? Because you only depend on these girls to tell you who impregnated them. If they don't say, it means they're going to go to Robben Island. Even the most brutal regime of apartheid never took young kids, girls west, to Robben Island. Zuma says he's taking them to Robben Island. So we cannot, in our rightful mind, close the EFF for such ideas. We are refusing. Look at the composition of the MK leadership. There's no gender reflection or representatives. It's a all male squire. And what makes matters worse with such parties, the leadership gets appointed. So you can't say, no, but these are males because they are a product of a democratic process which I can't tamper with. You are the one who appoints. You appoint out of 9 males, you appoint 1 female. And you say, I couldn't see any other female. And then you call that progressive. And what is even worse, there are girls who were pretending to be feminists who are now supporting such an organization. We cannot close the EFF for such nonsense. The EFF is the progressive organization that needs to be protected by all of you black people because it's the only organization in the recent past that has demonstrated beyond any reasonable doubt that it is for black people.
As we're wrapping up, my 2 last questions.
Sure.
The rumor that was all over social media and out there that Dr. Mbuyiseni Ndlozi was banned from the NPA. How true is that? And a follow-up question to that would be, are you intimidated by Dr. Ndlozi?
Well, it remains a rumor because in the EFF there's no such a thing. There were no such indications from Dr. Ndlozi to us that he wants to join MK, or he has not renewed his membership. As far as I'm concerned, he's in the membership system of the EFF, because the day you announce that you are leaving the EFF, immediately the membership officer takes you out of the membership system. I mean, as a person that has been around for quite some time and paying a closer attention to politics in South Africa, for sure you would agree that in my entire political existence, I've never been threatened by anyone. I will never be threatened by Ndlozi, or never be threatened by anyone, because this thing is very simple, my guy. If you fight and fight me, I'll fight back. Hey, we're in politics. I'm not in a church where when people fight, I pray for them. I don't do that. No. I don't pray for you. Fight, I'll fight back. And I'll fight very bad. And I told Floyd at the anniversary dinner of the EFF that you guys are tired of me. Come tell me, negotiate with me, I'll leave. So that's how I deal with threat. When I became the president of the Youth League, I was contested. I won. And I told them a simple thing. And that outcome, they contested it in Mangaung. I said, if they make a mistake of allowing me to be this thing for 6 months, when we go back to the conference, there won't be a contest. And I'm not talking about kids. I'm talking about people who are way older than me. They were all on the other side against me. I said, if they make a mistake of allowing me to lead this 6 months so that we prepare the second leg to elect additionals and take resolutions, there will not be a contest. We went to the second leg. They came and said, no, President, we realize now we have to bring this thing together, and then no contest. I said, no problem. Let's decide. We finished them on the ballot. None of them came in. Subsequent conference in 2011, I came back uncontested. Not against kids, against old people. In 2011, Zuma never wanted me. In 2008, Zuma wanted Saki. I won against Zuma. That's why I've always won against Zuma. In 2011, Zuma wanted Lebogang Maile to be president. Meetings were held at Zuma's residence at Forest Town, planning to remove me. As state president, I defeated that thing with all the resources and experience he had. I was not contested. You can't say he was abusing his power and suppressing the young people. It was Zuma. It was elders. It was people who are in employment, who are older than me, who said, this time we're removing him. I defeated them. That's why they had to remove me the way they removed me. I didn't only defeat them in the Youth League 2011 conference. I went to be elected as a leader of the ANC PEC in Limpopo, directly elected of the ANC. So that's how much I don't feel intimidated, because I'm very good at this thing. I told you I've done it from 9 years. I didn't meet it because I was hustling without a job and someone said, no, can make quick bucks here. No. It's in my DNA. It's in my
This is all you know.
This is what I know. And even when tendency come, I can tell you from a distance. They tried to launch an attack on my leadership in the Limpopo EFF conference. And I told Vuyan there, I said, I can see what they're doing. They make sure that all the progressive people who are standing don't get elected, and then elected useless people into the leadership. When I went to close that conference, I said, you must never think I don't know, I don't see what you are doing here. People can go into the archives of that conference. I said, you must never think I don't see what you are doing here. But when I come back to fight back, it will be very painful. And as a result, I removed that provincial chairperson and secretary and all of those useless people that they imposed in Limpopo so that they can undermine the progress of Limpopo EFF. Removed them. When Floyd tried to argue, I pointed him to the constitution which said the the officials of the EFF have got a right to remove any elected official who is incompetent. The intellectual was trying to say, I said, yeah, it's in the constitution. And I can guarantee you that clause was put by Floyd. And I know for sure he was targeting someone. He didn't know that it's coming to bite him. And then when we went to another meeting, Dr. Ndlozi repeated that argument of Floyd. That no, we did it as officials, then went to the War Council and took a decision that they must be removed. Dr. Ndlozi said, you can't remove the elected officials and all of that. It was Floyd who said, check clause what. Now it's an official's decision. Floyd can't disassociate himself with it even when he doesn't agree with it. Now, Ndlozi repeats that in the War Council, which is responsible for day-to-day running of the organization. Floyd says, check what clause. He says, no, there's no such a clause. They take the constitution and give it to the intellectual. When he page it, I say, in my typical way of doing things, I say, don't read it alone, read it aloud. Read it loud so everybody can hear. And as he was reading it, he says, he realized we're just exercising our democratic power that is given to us by our own constitution. Whether you like it or not, it's the internal mechanisms within which internal democracy is exercised in the EFF. So, but I knew when they were doing what they are doing, where I'm going to catch them. I didn't have to put up a fight. I didn't have to disrupt the EFF conference or its running, and I had to know this is what they have done, and they think they've catched me. I'm going to catch them on the other side. All I'm saying is, when you hit the other side, I'm not going to give you the other side. I'm going to hit back, and I'm going to hit twice. And so don't expect me that people can conspire to remove me, and then I must be the one who's sheepish around the whole thing. Even I never initiate. I said to all of these people who are causing trouble, I've never had a meeting with anyone to fight you. But you guys go sit and decide to fight me. And when I respond, I'm the problem. But no one noticed when I'm being attacked. No one noticed. They only notice the response. They don't notice the attack on me. And that has been my life, is Buddha, because I come from a poor family. I'm nobody. And people think, who is he to tell us what to do and what not to do, or who can undermine him? But they get a shock of their life, because even Zuma thought he undermined me. Go and look at the video, I've put it there, of Zuma and Cyril and all of them after they thought finally they are done with me after the conference of the ANC in Mangaung. The following day, they had an interview with Ndoro, a breakfast show of the Gupta newspaper after they being elected. Then they were asked, hey, what are you saying about the young man who said he's prepared to die for you? And then Balaga said, and no one is prepared to die for him. And then they were laughing, Zuma. You could see that they think I'm done. They in their mind, I'm done. All of them are finished, including Cyril's time is done. I'm still here. Balaga in some farm go Free State. So Zuma is in the village. I'm still young. The age is on my side. Doesn't matter what they do. I'm not going anywhere. I don't know anything. Even when they expelled me from the NC, I said, with my poor metric results, even if someone wants to hire me as a cashier, and then they are told, Julius Malema is here, he wants a job of a cashier, they will never employ me. No one can employ me. There's nothing I know except politics, and I will do politics to my grave.
My last question, CIC, would be, EFF suffered its first drop in terms of elections.
Yes.
What are you doing the upcoming elections? Is the EFF finished?
Never. The EFF will never be finished. I mean, we, in the recent past, during all these up and downs, we won a award in the Western Cape for the first time. And then we didn't suffer a loss that much compared to the ANC. I mean, from 60-something, 50-something to 40%. We moved from 10 to 9 because of the developments in KZN. everywhere else, the EFF remained stable. And then it's growing slowly but surely. So this organization will never die. I mean, now, Western Cape, I'm even giving an old example. Just on Tuesday, we were marching to the Constitutional Court to demand that Ramaphosa's case of Phala must be reinstated in Parliament and we must impeach him. No less than 10,000 people came to that march. And when I was addressing them standing on top of the buggy, what made my heart melt was the young people who were there. That this is the future of the EFF. So young. And I was like, once you say you will kill the EFF, it means you're saying you will kill these young people, and it's not possible. The young people know that the EFF is the only thing that makes sense to them. No any other thing makes sense politically in South Africa without the EFF. But equal is Buddha. One day, just close your eyes and imagine politics of South Africa without EFF. Will be worse. We will be worse because no one will be holding these people accountable. This MK you are talking about, where was it in the Constitutional Court now when we're holding corruption accountable? Where was DA? Where was Freedom Under Law? Where was Helen Suzman Foundation? All these white people and black people's corrupt organizations were not there. It was the EFF that stood up in defense of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa and said, no one is above the Constitution, including the parliamentarians. If the EFF was not there, not only was Ramaphosa going to not be exposed with dollars in his farm, he will now be putting dollars in the crawl because the house will be full. Because once you go to the lounge, it means the bedroom is full, everything. So from lounge is kitchen, from kitchen there is no available space. Let's go to the crawl. We saved you from dollars being put in the crawls, this EFF.
You once spoke about something, I know we're almost done now. When the Phala issue first came up, I think, I don't know, 2 years ago, however long it was, you said there is something you're still going to speak about in the Holoprane. What happened in the Holoprane? In the Holoprane, about the dollars being found in the sofas. You mentioned something along the lines of, forget the dollars in the sofas. I'm going to reveal more about what happened in the Holoprane.
No, in the plane.
Yeah.
They were, no, these guys, they were law unto themselves. These dollars were being brought into this country, being counted in the planes, in the private jets, and in the open and all of that. That's how much we're deteriorating as a country. And people don't have an appreciation of how we had saved our country from such a degeneration. Come on, guys. The guy says, I'm a farmer, I'm doing business. That's how the dollars found their way in the Phala farm. Firstly, he doesn't realize he's making a mistake because the Constitution says, as a president, you can't do any other business except the business of being president. That is his oath of office. That alone, he has violated his oath of office. Then he says a person came to buy the buffaloes with dollars. Second thing is that you are actually undermining the Reserve Bank laws because the only trading currency in South Africa is rand. That's why we can take the dollars now and go to Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton is an international shop. They will not take dollars. We're going to have to change them into rands. So you can't trade in South Africa using dollars. So, thirdly, a person who came to buy dollars buys them in his explanation from a manager, gives him so much money. In rands, that money is more than 8.7 million. Gives your manager so much money. He doesn't deposit it in the bank. The money gets stolen. You don't open a case. You say, I told my bodyguard, Cyril Ramaphosa is a graduate of law. He knows the law. There is no criminal procedure that dictates that when a crime is committed, you must tell your bodyguard. When a crime is committed, you go and open a case and get a case number. All of a sudden, he acts like a layman who doesn't know what to do when a crime is being committed. And lastly, the person who bought the buffaloes with so much money, 8.7 million, he has never come to fetch the buffaloes. No buffalo is recorded to be leaving South Africa. No buffalo is being recorded. And then you guys believe that story. And you want all of us to believe that story. Come on, man. There's nothing personal against me and Cyril. We get along. But I'm not going to say because I get along with Cyril and all of that, he must do wrong things. And then I must not expose those things. I'm going to expose them, even when they are committed by people that are my favorite. Wrong to our constitution is wrong. So we saved South Africa from that degeneration. There are other countries where, in the continent here, where currency, things just get done. As long as you've got political connection, you know the corridors of power, you can do as you wish. And that becomes a failed state. We saved South Africa from becoming a failed state. That's why this EFF must be protected by everyone, members and non-members, voters and non-voters, because it is in the interest of our constitution.
Lastly, more on a lighter note, congratulations on your legal counsel and legal team for the
nice.
Pala Pala case.
Thank you.
It was great to see fresh faces.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just brilliant minds.
But the EFF is known for that. We always produce talent. We always give the country the best of the best. I mean, if we take Parliament now, we're being denied an opportunity to show that talent in the kind of parliamentarians we have now. I mean, the kind of caliber of young men and women we have in that parliament, if they were to be given platform, you will think those who came before the Marichoku, because they're the best. We recognize talent, we protect it, and we give it an opportunity. I mean, in all respect, economically, whatever little that we can do, we give it to the best black talent. Socially, you know, even artists, they will tell you, there's no single artist that has ever performed in an EFF event that got paid after or paid a deposit. Before they go on stage, they are fully paid. Yeah.
Mr. Julius Malema, the CIC, and at the NPA, I would like to donate a pallet of more fire for the delegates.
Let me drink one.
Moloko kasi.
Yeah.
How you bula ya rapella us?
Ouch.
Hustlers.
Sorry, cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers.
May God bless you. Thank you so much for the inspiration over the years. You've done something so unfathomable. And it's incredible, all these amazing bright minds that you keep bringing to the fore in South African politics.
Thank you very much.
You inspire a lot of us, and may the good Lord continue to bless you and your family.
Thank you. Let's continue the fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, the CIC.